Bless you. I mean, you. You're listening to this. You got to the truth. You got to the end of the game. God bless you. You might be leaving the glitter dome. I've had this for a few years. It just sits on my desk. I forgot to pick it up and show you, baby. But anyway, it's not very big, but it's cute. I think I think my wife got this for me. I forget where it came from, but it's this cute little thing. Rainbow, rainbow in the dome. Pamela. Thank you for the support. I am Pauletta. Mary in the house. Mary in the dome. Everybody that's leaving in the dome is in the house today. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your support. So that I can do this and continue my work. It's been getting busy and all around me here. So and I'm gonna fill you in on some of that going on because it relates to your path too. And so I want to fill you in. And George is here, and Alan is here. God bless you. Careful prayers every time. The guy's very careful with everything. Careful prayers, very smart. J Bob. Really, uh, the support is invaluable. So, and J Baba, Mike, right? That's right. Well said. Well said, Mike. Y'all are y'all are like the team. You get it, right? Like in that book about their 12 bosses, like, yeah, there's like not many. Not many at all. Very few actually want to deal with the situation full head on. The rest of them are not to the point in their spiritual evolution, whatever you want to call it. They're not prepared to deal with it yet. Just God hasn't caught up their ability to deal with it. It's like, uh, careful prayers for Mike too. Really, God bless you all. Uh, it's like, hey, yeah, me and the rabbit are gonna change the engine of the car, and you're handing a wrench to a rabbit. It's like the rabbit's like, I know, chewing on grass, doesn't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? It's like, uh, you got your type, but that's what I'm saying. He's very careful. Yeah, look at this. I knew before, right? He's very careful. And so are you all. Anyways, like you can't get a rabbit. I got buddies all over where I live that show cute. They just pop out of the ether like boop boop. Anyway, I can't be like I can't do it either, but I'm just saying I can't be like, hey, let's stand next to me and turn the wrench down there, hold the wrench down there, buddy. Like that's not gonna, that's not gonna work out so well. They're just not in the spot. Some of this the spiritual abilities is the same way. You've seen it. They can't do it. They're unable to do it. It's just everyone around us, you see. And that is such a hard thing to deal with in so many ways because it's like try to find the very, very few. Because even if they're not prepared to deal with all of it, a bunch of them are prepared to deal with it a little bit. You know what I mean? And that's when we find ourselves dropping, planting the seed. It's like it grows up and it's like, I got one more seed for the next year. It's like, oh, okay. Oh, they don't, they get a little bit of it and they're going to think about it. And, that's what they're going to do for the next 1 billion times they play that character. And then one day they're going to, sprout a bit more and they bear fruit. Life in the foxhole. That's right. Life for the foxhole day. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. I know it's difficult out there. I know. You know, uh, it's just not easy. So let's start off with some levity, some fun stuff. It's on Amazon. It's a fun movie, Groundhog Day, right? Hey, if you know, you know. Let's make a whole jokey movie about it with Bill Murray. Anyway, it's very sweet. It's from the early 90s or whatever. And I had just haven't watched it in decades. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch this thing, cause and thank God they got the, like, the king of comedy in there, so it's sweet and funny and all that stuff. It's very hokey and sweet. There's no everything's very sweet, you know? So it's, they're saying everything in a nice, pleasant way. So, uh, I think you would enjoy it. But and you'll see as you go through it all these signs and symbols and everything, like, they go into, the town, you know what I mean? It has a billboard. If you count the letters, it's like, oh, I had about 64, like so many. And I know, George, you're into that. So, because people are like still uh learning or fascinated by it. Me too including. I'm not saying I'm not or whatever, but uh it's just now it's like I know the whole language. So but it's just funny to see it, which is still, I keep my skills up to date and stuff. It's like, oh, let's go play Where's Waldo. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, uh so it's just, I went through, I made a few notes of fun things, and then I'm gonna move on to the real stuff today. Okay. Uh But, you know, uh, the groundhog's name is Phil, and the character in the movie's name is Phil. So it's like, it's a recurring thing. He wakes up every day at 6 a.m. and it's always the same exact day every single day. And uh, through the process, first thing he does is take advantage of the whole situation. Oh my God, like, this is the way you just walk over and take $1 million, and from the uh, like, cash truck that picks up for the banks and stuff. He's just like, 3, 2, 1. He walks over, picks it up, and leaves. It's an explanation basically of them. Our opponents, have these abilities. You see what I'm saying? And it's good. It's a good delivery of what they have and what they're working on. Uh, and what in the end kind of, it gives a little bit of a shadow of, it tells you where we come from. You see, and it tells you what we're up against out here in all this seeming madness. uh what they're doing. So he kind of like, he takes advantage of the whole situation, and then he comes to like one girl, and so he acquires skills because it's every day the same day. He remembers everything, and nobody else ever. They all have their memory wiped and restart every day. Like, they know nothing but that day. You see the saying, what thoughts they came into, that's exactly where they are. And he remembers every single day. So he learns to play the piano perfectly, and he learns all these skills and stuff that he continues to have every time. So it does the exact timing of every single thing. The script never changes one single second. And so by the end, he learns everything about what's going on around him in this town that he's stuck in, And so he knows when, like, this kid's gonna fall from a tree at exactly this time, and he's like, whoop, catches him, and then he's got to go change the tire over here, and he's constantly helping people by the end of it. Uh, anyway, so it's a good watch. I recommend it because it's really how they earn their wings. It's a movie about that, and that's what we did before we had our memory completely wiped and played the game again. For who we are. Uh, we're not like the non-player characters in the background. That's not it. We're definitely the characters that the whole game exists for. As Bear Mama said something like, I'm not going to go word for word, but it's like, remember that the world was built for you. You're not built for the world. You see the saying? Play the game. Anyway, a couple of details about this. 8 is featured all throughout the Groundhog Day, like 8 sideway infinity. So, you see it everywhere. Uh, there's a really great scene about a broken pencil. Like, he's like gonna go to sleep for the night, breaks the pencil, puts it on the uh, uh, side table right next to the bed, and he wakes up and it's back together again. It's the power of God, and people just can't wrap their head around it. It's not possible to really wrap your head around it. It's like, if you can understand what a miracle is, just all the time. You see, and that's just not exactly scientific. So it goes against our programming. Uh, there's a great glass half empty, glass half full thing. All right, Mike made it. Fantastic. God bless you there, Mike. Uh, he doesn't worry anymore. Uh, and there's one scene he's like, I'm trying to talk like a normal person. They're trying to be, like the actual humans around them. Just most of around it, I call them non-player characters. But honestly, here's the deal. They're all gonna what? Come to me. Everyone is in my flock. Everyone. They just don't know yet. But they are. Every single one of them is in my flock and coming to me because I don't leave here, not ever. You see what I'm saying? So it's to me, once I get woke up, it's like, oh, what do you mean? I was super, as you don't know, like I have a whole schedule planned out in heaven for to infinity. I all planned. It's like, yeah, but but you all leave, so it's good. And I'm made, the way I'm made looks same body and stuff like that, but they're made the way they're made. See what I'm saying? It's different inside a little, so we're all in God's image, but created slightly differently. So we have a different role here. Uh, and I'm creative for my roles, so it's just a hurdle I get over. You know what I mean? Until I accept my situation fully, and then it's okay. It's just the way it is. It's not like I never leave here. It's there is this time in between when I'm not here. Uh, Not just for the 1 second or whatever when I touch Mama's shoe or whatever, but an actual time, between Judgment Day and the restart. There is some, assuaging of that, you know, mediocrity. Uh, anyway, the rest of this, when he starts this journey, Phil, he's like, "You mean I can do whatever I want?" What I mean, that's them, right? I can do whatever I want. Uh, so anyway, just there he goes to a party, and it's called the Inner Circle. Just it really in this movie, it really is. You should really go see it for the things that match up in your reality. It's going to be too many. It's going to freak you out in a good way because you're like, wait a second, this game is about me. It is about you. It really is about you who's listening, and really almost no one else. You see? And you need to go see this for what it is and understand your role is ridiculously important, you know? Uh, it really is. And so you need to, because you're near the end of your spiritual journey, you don't have no ego. You see what I'm saying? So you don't have this ego to be boosted. Like, what? Sweet, that's me. You have kind of the opposite reaction. You know what I'm saying? Like me. Like, wait, I'm Christ. I ain't gonna go for that. No way. What? That was my first long reaction for a long time. You ain't gonna suck me into that nonsense. There ain't no way, no how. And so that's because you're near the end of your spiritual journey, there ain't no ego. You're trying to help you and your loved ones, and you're not doing what you want. What? That's not what's happening at all in your life. And so this is actually the missing ego or all the near missing ego makes this sort of hard to contemplate and adjust to your apex point in spiritual evolution, and there is no other thing going on here but spiritual evolution, and you're at the apex of it. You individuals are here because you're so egoless. It takes a while. It's a process to be like, wait, that means it just does. That's normal part of the process. because they have that in the book. Oh, there could be lot of Christ coming. Oh, no, you don't want to go for that business. It's kind of like you have that feeling. You don't want to do it at the wrong timing or whatever. That's no good. But you want to accept where you are because, like Bear Mama say, you can't move forward until you accept where you are, and that's just part of this. You need to accept where you are so you could continue the journey forward. Not because you're egotistical, you got no ego, or almost no ego left. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like that. It's just okay. I'm this important means what you do matters super duper much in the game. And so that's kind of what I want to get on with a little bit today. Uh, sure, let me skip it up here. So anyway, I recommend you watch Groundhog Day. It's not like awesomely spiritually, great like Pilgrim's Progress. What Alan recommended. That's like I don't need to interpret nothing there or go into any that's like so wonderful. You understand the whole thing. I super recommend that. Oh my God, that's an exact what's up. But this other thing explains them so much too. Uh, and also that whole journey through what they're going through and everything. And well, we're in the same script and this is all happening. So it's happening all around us, so it's happening to us too. So it's just not always quality. Like everything is saying this, every song, every movie, everything is saying, what you finally learned. You can see that now. They have games here. Watch them play games. Yay, sports is about the game we're playing. Everything's about what we're doing. Everything. This whole place is simply a reflection of what we're doing, what we're up to here. The whole backdrop is all that because it's all progress to get to here. Oh, a sports team. Oh, you love something. You have a heart for even if this is stupid, idiotic, whatever. I mean, no, God makes great games. I'm just saying. And I watch them sometimes and stuff, but I mean, like, uh, they have to move forward, somewhat understanding games and winning games and playing fairly and not breaking rules, on the journey to getting to God. You can see them, they're little tiny spiritual children down there. You know what I mean? Like, uh, who can't see God. They cannot see God. They cannot see God until you get up here at the apex, so you have an opportunity to see God, and that's all that matters. That's the only thing that this game is all to do that, is to go back at God's feet and, "Oh, I'm home again." That's the journey, and they can't do that, so it's just yeah, our journey is the toughest, i.e., we have to play through all these difficult things, but once you get to the end, you're like, just you feel so horrible for him. It's like you could never have a chance to win the game. What? Your life is just pure hell. Then you see, just you feel so nauseated from, that they're gonna go for that, but that's just where they are. And speaking of nausea, I don't have that anymore, which is wonderful. I quit using weed, and I was using it for so long because I would just spit so much blood and having to listen to, digest this whole place and all the problems, but apparently that part is over, as I'm saying, like, the 7 playing thing, like, is over that, so I'm just created to be okay, and to give up that that character Sai Baba used to eat what he used to eat every day, opium every day. People can't understand what you got to digest up in here. It's not even possible, to explain. But then, you know, through the process of God's continuing to keep you alive, whether you want it or not. Part of that is kind of like a gestation until you get to this spot where you can just perform your function without as many difficulties, that are kind of like a part of a gestation process. Oh, gotta crab, gotta shed the shell. Well, that's relaxing. You know, that kind of stuff. You kind of go, oh, I'm here. Okay. So, but that's on every plane. You gotta, oh, I made it to this, but then you gotta, operate from that knowledge and ability and spiritual experience that you've had up to that point, and then absorb it and then act accordingly, and then you have another experience, and then you're like, oh, and it's just kind of like, culmination, like builds up the steam a little bit, have an experience where you interact with God somehow, and then it's like, oh man, I got, you're like, just rips you apart, and then you gotta somehow come back from that, and absorb it and make sense from it, and then continue on your journey to the next stop that's gonna do something similar. Um, so it's like God keeps you alive, and then you have that uh experience of sort of being created again. I would say just being able to well, prepare you for the next event you're gonna for sure have. So it's like that. And that's where Baba describes them as spiritual plays, but it's sort of that that kind of event driven thing, uh, based on your actions. So faith, hope, love, greatest ever on unconditional love. There is absolutely no such thing as unconditional love, and it's never happened ever. That is a total hoax. I don't love you unless you have, meet my conditions. No, I'm like, you're a banker. God, murder all the bankers today so that we may be free. Thank you, God. There's a condition. No, there's always conditions. That's what the cross is about. Debits and credits, but what? Put a weight on either side. It's like, a scale. Always conditions. Always. The only unconditional love that is possible is from the end. For God gives us unconditional love, and that's what happens. You return it. You're a reflection of that in God's. You're in God's presence, which you're thinking you're not now, but you're in God's presence, and God emanates unconditional love, and we therefore have unconditional love in return for God. But you know, how you do when you're on your own. That's this game. You see what I'm saying? We get thrown tossed into the game, and you come back. No, down here, this is a game where you go to God, and God's made the rules and there are conditions. There's no such thing as unconditional love until you return to God. Absolutely not. And that's only because God is reflecting it out of God, because that's what God is. And so there's absolutely no unconditional love here. I deny it, and I do not grant it, and neither does God. Nope. That's no. I was interested in trust. Can you do payment? Uh, yeah, Liberty Aid Academy. Go there. You're why don't you have a real NATO up there, right? So this is one of them. Everyone. All right. Life in a body. Mike. I'm an emotional eater, and digesting the truth is also depressing as the ego dies, and I eat more. But then I recover and clean up the vessel. So I go, agreed. And, that's how we process like the physical world. They don't even have to eat over there and stuff. Them, a bunch of them creatures. They don't. They can. That's why they worship the owl, right? Because the owl puts food in and spits it back out like a Terminator. You know what I'm saying? They're not. Why do they need even insides of their body? What would be the point? They got to shapeshift and stuff. Wouldn't that be uncomfortable? Like, nah. What angels got to eat? What? Does it? You're limiting you're limiting what could happen. A God can make anything happen based on your experience. They're not having your experience. That's the difference. That's all. Yeah, there's no yeah, actually, hey, faith, hope, love, hey, long name. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Go ahead and post a link to right because what's if you don't have proof of your love for your brother and sister, you definitely don't have no proof, right? I'm the one with proof up in this dome. Everything I've done, I'm posting proof because I love my brothers and sisters unconditionally as much as one can in the dome, right? But there are conditions here. But I unconditionally did it for everyone and posted for everyone. So that's the only unconditional love that can be shown is the truth that you were willing to go to the death for many times over as I went to the death for it and then posted it in public, getting no money, no nothing, to set my brothers and sisters free. That is the only act of unconditional love that I've ever seen up in here. You know, to someone not related to, not programmed to me, nothing like that. Hey, everyone, you're slaves, and this is how you get out of it. Uh, and all the things they've done to me for doing it every day. So let's see your unconditional love with your video links of what you done. Posted it here, or I deny your unconditional love. That's what I think about you wanting to trust. So yeah. Uh, Jay, it's not the Super Bowl. It's the Super Bowl. No, it's freaky, right? They're making fun of, hey, we're in the dome, and then yeah, no, it's just really, you know what I'm like. If you got to be on your post on duty 24/7 for 64 years, why would you need to eat and drink and, all these horrible, uncomfortable, they have a tough job. I'm not saying they don't have a tough job. They're necessary in here. You have to understand what they are and stuff like that. So, do that. Uh, so, uh, look into that. That's why I recommend it. But you could just learn about your opponent in the game so that they don't got what do they have on us? They have abilities we don't have, right? But they also mostly have knowledge we don't have because if they had knowledge and abilities both, you know what I mean? And we didn't get something on our end, right? Then they'd always win forever and no one would ever leave. But it's kind of like break it. I've never read the Bhagavad Gita, but breaking it down in its most, I mean, I have not in this lifetime, yeah, obviously, but uh, breaking it down, right? There's a prince of a kingdom, and his father dies, and then this other one usurps his kingdom, and has and is it becomes king. Hey, this is my understanding paraphrase. Thank you. Uh, and so Arjuna what's the kingdom back, and Krishna comes right, and this is played out in Bagger Vance is a movie about what I'm telling you. There's a movie about what I'm telling you. Bagger Vance is about the story I'm telling you. Uh, so uh, you know the prince wants the kingdom back, which kingdom of God, right? And so uh, the Krishna comes and says, "Hey, okay, let's play this game." Do we have to? Yes. Okay. Oh, okay. We're gonna play this game, and the current king, Krishna says, "Okay, you can have everything. You can have all the money. You can have the kingdom. You can have the armies. You can have all the land. You can have everything and everyone." He's like, no, he says, one of you can have all that, and one of you can. I'll be on your side. And the guy goes, the king goes, no, no. Arjuna says, I'll take you. Arjuna says, I'll take you, right? Because the other one, they just stay with their thing, right? And Arjuna, I'll take you, and you know, Arjuna goes on to win the game. It doesn't matter if they have all the everything and all that stuff. They're born to lose. That's where that's where that tattoo came from. Born to lose. So, that's who you're up against. So I'm on your team up here. So they're gonna lose. All right, let's go into I hear a lot of this. Here's the American woman phrase. Why why aren't you with that guy, right? Not all American women, it's a generalization. Thank God there was outside of this, but he was a narcissist. You know, guys like, what the fuck is a narcissist? You know what I mean? Like, I don't even what. Well, what does you look up in the Greek script mythology, who was this guy, Narcissus, whoever, whatever, based on the narcissism name, right? He's a character that was so good looking that he ended up staring in the mirror until he died. That's it. You see us saying, so who's looking in the mirror all the time, ladies? Come on, what? It's just like, you know, uh, mirror, mirror on the wall, you might want to change your script before you fall. I've just been hearing it's like you cannot go online and try and watch a video without, hearing that sentence in it. It's like, Karen. So anyway, it's just so horrible to hear that all the time, but something about the background of where that word comes from. So it's something to be watchful of because they're doing what they want. That's that group. Doing what we want from the Groundhog Day. They're still in that phase. Yeah. Uh, it drives us really slick, but no, it's good. I heard that before, but I haven't heard it in a long time. Uh, Jay, exactly right on. So one thing I've been up to is Gypsy's been on my mind. I've been trying to hunt that guy down. I seen him in a little bit, and then I went hunting here and there. Uh, went to the jail. Oh, went in there. Oh yeah, I went into the jail here, and I was like, went to the visitor thing of like, uh, is Gypsy in here? Lady looks at me. I was like, she's like, what? I was like, is Gypsy in the jail right now? I'm looking for him. Is Gypsy? She's like, what's his real name? I said, I just gave you his real name. She's like, "No, I need his real name." I was like, "I don't know his legal name. You follow me? I know his real name, and I know you know him because you pulled him in here so many times. You got him for the hurricane. You had him in here. Sometimes you scoop him up when he needs to get scooped up, and you're watching over him. I'm asking you, look at me. I'm asking you, is Gypsy in here right now? No. Okay. Thank you." Oh. And I refrained from praying for their death and then took everything I had. Hey, but I went down and found him finally, and he was in his spot. One of the spots that's his spot. And so I sat down with him, and God told me to bring him some money. Sometimes I bring him some money, and brought him a little more money than usual. And I was like, "Hey, man," and he gave me the biggest hug. I was like, "Come on, let's." I was like, "We're walking over there," and he lives in this most beautiful beach access, right, which is right next to these super pricey, wonderful seafood restaurant on the pier and all this stuff. No way can afford a single French fry for the whole place. Like, but they have an outside like faster meal, kinda like if you're coming off the beach spot, like a trailer thing they set up, so it's like wraps and all this stuff, and, he don't he I'm wearing a shirt, he never wears a shirt, like, ever unless he does if it's cold or whatever, you know, but, I mean, just never, and he has so many biggest sinner become the biggest saints, he has every biggest tattoo of the biggest sinner ever, and he's taller than me and 20 years plus younger than me. Uh, he people move out his way, or the ones that want to test themselves, the younger boys all step right up to him and give him a hard time everywhere he goes. And God has been knocking on that guy. So we went over, and he's like, "We don't." He's like, "We're not going to eat here, right?" I was like, "No, we're not going to eat here." We go up where he plugs in, and he put him his home base place where he lives, and plug it in, and talk. And, as I explained more of the situation to him because he's showing up out of the mainstream stage a little bit more, and we just I'm just saying we had lunch and I found him and been looking for him and I was able to see him. But then I saw him last night too. He come to the drum circle and he's the first thing he says to me is, "Hey man, you woke me up," because I because he's like, "Oh, we want to smoke a bowl or something." Like, dude, I quit. He's like, "You quit?" He's like, "That's it." He throws it on the ground. He's like, "You quit, I quit." He gets down on his knees and prays to God. He's like, "Hey, you quit, I quit. That's it. That's it." He's like, "I know you know what's up." He's like, "Me too." I was like, "Yeah." So, uh, I ain't doing nothing up here. You think I'm doing stuff for me, but I'm never doing anything for me. I'm always getting ready for the next thing I got to do for someone else. Uh, and so, with the money I gave him, I said my prayers for him. I was like, man, think about being baptized. Like I said, you think about being baptized, and he goes down on his feet, praying to God right next to me at my feet. I'm like, okay, you won't be baptized, but well, okay, I guess we're good. So funny, perfect. He's so sweet. He really, he's like the scariest guy and the sweetest guy, both at the same exact moment, because visually he's just like, uh, and in his heart, he's the sweetest, warmest guy. And it's just interesting. So he just happened to be walking by a yard sale after what? No, this is what happened. He's fine. I've been saying, listen, you ain't going all the way to God until you give God everything you got, including your anger. You see, so you have to do it, or else you can't see God, can't do what you're trying to do out here. You have to give him everything. And I saw him in the drum circle. He said, I went to a church on the way here. I was like, good. He said, I screamed at God at my loudest voice for 2.5 hours. And he said, then he cried for an hour. And he said, I'm sure I freaked out the entire neighborhood. He was sure. And he said, what happened was after the priest, right of the place, comes through and says, talks with him a little bit. It says you could come here, sleep here anytime you want. You could eat here anytime you want. You could take a shower anytime you want. This is now your home. You're fine here. After he did that with God, that second, the priest come out and said that to him. That's what Gypsy told me last night. And he said he left the church, because he walks everywhere, the pack on his back. Remind you of Pilgrim's Progress? He looks like the dude, I swear. He's not hard to pick out for me. He said he went like a couple doors down, and there's a garage sale, and there was a brand new, untouched, never ridden bike ever, his size, and he paid $20 for it. He got on the bike and rode it to the drum circle where I saw him. Uh, the lady knew how long who you're talking about. Oh, yes, Jay, 100%. And they knew who I am. That's why she's like, you know, not looking at the eye. She was like, yes, what do you want? Yes. Them characters. And they, I had to walk by the arm guy. He was just like, like the guy at the desk dude before you go to the visitor thing. Arm guy and the police guy, the big guy you're gonna be afraid of, is him. Whoop, up goes the newspaper. Anyway, yeah, I left that out, but I just play. I was in a mood looking for Gypsy. Let me tell you what, I wasn't in a like. I knew that, God said there's a sheep out there. I was like, what did you just tell me? You got to go find it. I was like, oh. I rode all over. I went up the north side, all the way to the jail, as far as my bike would go, off everywhere, down the south side. Finally found him. Uh, put 100 miles on that bike, easy looking for that guy, and it did it. His phone was turned off, and his phone was taken from him, and his wallet. My God. Steal it from a homeless guy that lives on, under pavilion outside and leaves his stuff there when he has to go eat or something. So he doesn't have to carry every ounce on his back that he has. talk about exactly factual Pilgrim's Progress. Anyway, so he come around a long way, and he told me sitting there when we talked. He said I had just bought a knife. That's why God told me to get right down there. He said he said I've had it. I was like, no, no weapons for you. You get rid of every weapon you have. You're never allowed to get another one. I was like, you, because he calls. I'm with my father. That's all he sits around. Is my father. I was like, you have your father. Okay, they have nothing. What? You don't need a weapon. I was like, look at me. You don't need a weapon, do you? No. Okay. So he gave that up, and he was going to again. It's very hard. It's coming almost. I got to be a 1 inch away for so long, what it's that last you come so far, and then it's just like you can't move. You're like, I can't, you're like trying to reach, and it's nothing's happening. It's like just they want you to that suicide thought is all they're shooting from the Death Star at you. That don't do it. Kill yourself. You get out of here. Get out of the dome. Fine. You know everything. Kill yourself. Like no, no, you don't. Anyway, it all switched around for him when he what did it hurt turn his anger at himself inward the way we're all driven to do. They're like, you're no good and all this stuff, and they're trying to drive their our anger at this situation on us when it should be outwardly directed at the ones doing it to us, not on us. No, we're not like that. They are. You see what I'm saying? That's why no violence, nothing like that. But you're being violent to me by making your slave inherently violent. So that's I pray for your death. I'm not gonna I ain't gonna do it myself. I ain't gonna keep myself here. No way, no how. You see what I'm saying? Karmically, no thank you. I have to play the game like you, even though I gotta come back every time. There's no God created me to never lose. I can never lose. That's sort of unfair anyway, you know? But it's unfair for a reason. So that you can have someone go first and say, "Hey, everybody," it helps you move forward faster. Or that you maybe you never would if so, because they have everything. You see what I'm saying? And we need God. That's all. Once you get God, they lose, and they're here to make it extremely difficult. And they're making it difficult on us, makes it difficult on them. They're like, no, the world is great. And that's what their program. This place is the place. You're like, you're an idiot. They're like, I am not. Well, like Gypsy said, I had to, after he finally come through that, I said this to him before, but last night at the drum circle, I was like, we talked a little bit, and I was just like, they can't see God. And they're like, what? I was like, they can never, ever see God. They're like, it's just, he gasped when he finally got it. He's like, all I do is hear from my father all day long. He's like, they can't do that. I'm like, no. He's like, that I, that I feel sorry for them. I was like, you feel there, don't you feel the horror, not just sorrow? God. And he's like, yes. So we finally, you see what I'm saying? Just that journey to that place is very difficult. They don't want us. The game is set up for it to be very difficult to make it to that spot. You see, but you make it, and it's like, hey, God put you right down the street for me. So hi, and if you're out there, don't you buy a knife. He'll tell me, our father, same father, will tell me to come over there. I'm your big brother, because I had to tell him last night I won the game first. That's why I'm looking over you. He's like, he looked at me. I'm like, look, we're the same with guys. It's not like that. I had more time. I'm here from the first second. He's like, okay. Like, I'm not saying I'm more with God than you do. It's okay. Everyone gets all the way with God. It's okay. Once you're with your mother, you're good to go. It's okay. It's okay. I had more time. You're younger. You're doing great. All right. Like you have this, he has the spiritual competitiveness there is so strong. It's beautiful, you know? And he's like, I want to ride your bike. I let him ride my bike. And he's like, how was it? It was like, great. He's like, go so fast. So he got back and he said, also these guys wanted to like fight with me. He said, and I did it. And he told me the situation and stuff. I was like, they were there to test me. I was like, yep. I was like, and it's never gonna end, Gypsy. They're never gonna stop testing you. We're here for them now. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna roll up against us, and we're gonna show 'em what you actually should do instead of what you would do, you idiots. That's our role. Because he's like, I already got to my father. It's like, I'll just go now. Like, can't do that. We're here to serve them now. He's like, and once you feel the horror of their ultimate stupidity of not choosing to see God, you can see why we're left here, to show them the way home, not just me. I don't get to take all the heat. If Gypsy can get some heat too, and you all get heat too. You follow me? That's what's going on. Okay, you gotta. But I'm here to say, guess what? There's a time limit. So that's what I told him. He said, "Don't you tell me like 10 years or 9 years or something." I'm like, 8.5. He's like, okay. 8.5. I'm like, you could do it. Okay, okay. Anyway, so now I got a place and a bike, and he's a mechanic, and I'm helping him gradually get out of this. I don't want to give him too much money and stuff like that at one time, but at each stage, God tells me exactly what to do, and he's really coming along. And from a few years ago, it's night and day, and everything's now finally sort of over the big hurdle, I would say. So he's not over the biggest hurdle for him of women, but he's getting there because he's so good looking, and you know, he's just like, you know, the Tom Hanks shapeshifter after he lands on the island. He didn't work out. He's just like, "Whoop, now I look like this." Anyway, you know, like, okay, you still have to get over every woman because they all want you. His red hair, beard. He's just he's like he's sweet, and he looks like the what like the bad boys are all attracted to. And all the bad boys are like, "You ain't the baddest boy." I'm like, "You don't find them anymore. You don't do that. You're with God, and that's it. End of violence, knives, weapons on your shelf for anyone. No more throwing fists. No more. It's all over, man. End it." And then he went to the church. You see. Anyway, so he's a sweet guy, and it's going very well. And I want to say I do exactly. Here's my rule with God, right? You say I do. I don't have no other. There's nothing between me and God besides you say I do. There's nothing else going on. I'm under. I get told what to do and I do it. I don't. It don't matter where it is, what it is. God will make it so I can do whatever I gotta do, and He'll tell me every step of the way and journey. Until you say I do. That's why and it makes it so I can be more useful and helpful. So, thank you for the donations and stuff of me. Hey, thank you for reading about Mayor Baba, the spiritual plays, and what's actually going on here, the real spiritual, situation that you and everyone finds themselves in so that you can, overcome it, get to the end of it and stuff. And thanks for your support in it because I want to say something else that happened last night, and this is very important too. Just as important as that is, I want to say this other thing. Now, there's this very influential guy around my age that lives in Asheville, uh, and every time he comes, he has everything. You never. This is the most well dressed character of any of the characters anywhere. He's often in a tux. Everything he's wearing is custom made. Every ring, every top hat, or I can't even go into describing the elaborateness. Maybe DB, who's seen the Drum Circle page, has seen this guy in photos, but it's almost every single time is brand new, everything new. except for the scorpion ring, but uh, everything, everything, so much wardrobe. It's unbelievable. So the circle has now thanked me, and a whole bunch of the good drummers came and said thanks, kind of like, I'm just trying to give back. You played for me for years. I was like, they're wrecking up your game, and they are all playing in rhythm. It was the largest gathering of a drum circle in Tacoma Speech I've ever seen last night. The amount of people in the audience must be just, I don't know, raining ice blocks up north or something, must be cold up there because everyone's down here that can get in any room. So, yeah, but anyway, he's here. So the big circle, and Gypsy's standing right at the edge, and I was sitting next to him, and I come in the circle, and he comes around. And I say, hey, listen, I hold up $20. I say, man, have I done things with a $20 bill? I won't go into them all of them, but this was an important one. I said, hey, man. Oh, he comes to me every single drum circle to speak to me, shake my hand, and it's like, what's going on? And I tell him exactly. And I mean exactly what's going on. Oh, time loop this much. I don't hold nothing back. On my level, this is the answer to your question, you see, to Asheville, the place that's going to Ash. Oh, yeah. Uh, so I say, hey, listen, man, I want to ask you a favor. Never asked a favor at anybody at the whole drum circle. So I asked the top guy. Oh, I got a favor for you. I want you to consider doing this now. I want you to go over. I want you to take this $20, and I want you to go over and hand it to Gypsy and give it to him, because everyone looks up to you. They don't look. No one looks up to me. I said, but everyone here looks up to you. I said, if you hand him $20, they would support him, which would help him, and obviously, I know would help them too. To help someone actually on the spiritual path who's now coming, agreeing to stay and not slice the neck again. Do you know you don't? And who's going to make it? You see what I'm saying? And the ones that need feathers and wings need to help him, or else, like that priest. I'm like, you don't think I'm going to figure out who that priest is and go over and check him out at his church? You damn straight. You're goddamn straight. If you ain't off on a level over there, I'm gonna damn you with God's name. So goddamn straight. And I mean that literally. You're gonna go see. You could bet on that. That's my next stop on the list after I get it out of him. uh, but he he wouldn't take the money and go do it. He's like, I was like, consider okay, but he wouldn't do it, and he didn't come back to me. And so, circle back to the church. Thank you, dear. Oh, you plucked that humor on you, Mike. There's a feather for you. Give me that. Remove a feather. But he wouldn't do it. So listen. So I want to tell you how it is. Okay, for you too, for everyone. Okay, for me too. Uh, if you don't take someone under your wing, meaning some live individual or human who needs it, why would you need any wings? You ain't gonna get them. You ain't getting no feathers or wings unless you take someone who you see is spiritually in a place who's going to advance. Unless you help them, not someone waste your time. You pick the right one out, the right one at the right time, and do it. Unless you do it right, you're not earning no feathers or wings. You pick the wrong one, no feathers or wings. They won. You didn't help no one. You have to do it. I give him and that entire drum circle an opportunity last night. And when you don't take a massive opportunity that I give, handed out money, I hold money to help them. In the middle of the drum circle. I did it. I done it for them. I done it for them. and you don't take the opportunity, oh baby. All the only thing I heard at that moment was earthquakes to Asheville. Mark my words. Mark my words. You know, flood didn't work. Flood didn't work. So Ash baby. guess it gets shaken before it gets burnt. That's the name. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. Heartless creatures. Heartless creatures. This is the most. It's like that dude in the uh right before you go to the fair with all the stuff on. You know what I'm saying? In Pilgrim's Progress, like jumping around like out there in the middle. You're gonna come to the fair. That's the dude. Okay, let me. You're going. I'm gonna knock you back to where you come from. Yeah, no heart. You see what I'm saying? An absence of a heart, a lack, a miss. It's not there. All show and hi, love you to everyone. You see what I'm saying? It goes to everyone in the whole drum circle. He's the one, no heart. Very well said and directly to the point, Jay. You've been doing some work over your foxhole, buddy boy. That's exactly it. Thank you. Genie, it's not the first, it's the second one. Yeah. He would have given the next one the opportunity to come to God. Bad. Breaks the chain, blocks the whole place. What? I'm at the fair. I literally am at the center of the fair doing that with the guy they want. I say you could give him some money in front of everybody, and you know what the other thing is going to do. If God witnesses you not taking that money, you know what's going to happen. Okay, here I am in the center of this circle where all I do is pray for God, so you know what's going to happen. You know. There you go. You don't get no feathers or wings. You didn't earn them. Forget about it. Like, thank you, John. My wife got tired of me helping people and letting them stay in our home, but I had to do it. Over the years, I got better at picking the right ones because most or some can't be helped. Exactly. Not most or some. You see what I'm saying? It's like all of them, unless God literally tells you it's one of them. Yeah, yeah, and really, you have to literally see yourself there and your investment. People literally have called me standing next to Gypsy before and after. In other words, they tell you who is the right one over and over. I've been seeing Gypsy for several years now before I gave him any money or something like that. I gave him information, knowledge. I was here for him every step of the path, but you know, I didn't do that until I knew until God told me when to do it, and not before, nothing like that. Don't take before. Sadly, because you get a heart. We have a heart, but they're like, oh, they're vampires. They just want to bleed us dry. Yep, the other 7,000, one of them who's right there, and you got to pick them, properly, and help them properly at the time, and they still have to go through the difficult journey and all that. But when God tells you to do something like He did to me, then that's all I'm doing. My wife's like, "The fuck?" She's like, "Who are you going to say?" Like she thinks I'm looking for a God. Like, uh, no, I like women and stuff. Uh, you know, thank God there's so many women that have come to God in here. It really evens the scale for me. Whew, really, I mean it. I really, you have no idea how much I mean it. I mean, I mean it from the deepest part of my heart. I really mean it. You all mean so much to me that you showed out like that, showing how far women can advance. Thank God, because so many of them, just stop when they get some level of beauty, and that's the advancement ends there for the rest of their entire life. There's no spiritual journey for them, and none of them. And you all to go through that in America, you know, great work, all of you. I mean that sincerely, absolutely sincerely. Because it's the hardest part of the path at the end, and it's different for women, obviously, but that's men's part of the path, and I'm working with Gypsy here face to face, so that's who I've got to explain it to that situation and so on. Especially God put him in the cutest body ever. One of them is like, apparently from the, it's like, that's not gonna be easy. But it's just after the, going to the church and everything, I could see all so much is left of. So thanks for your support, me doing this work because when I am placed here, you see, God put me here, and so I know where I'm supposed to be at 8 times 8 up in the classroom right now. Or when I said that, I know where I am, so I know where I'm supposed to be. So that's it. Timex. I want to get a Timex watch, right? Time X, right? X for right. 8 times 8, right? X, like Skull and Bones, right? Timex. I'm a time ender. Okay, we're gonna keep going through these things, but I really wanted to explain that to you because the gypsies on the same journey that we're on. I know you're on the same journey, and I know I'm here. I'm doing my best for helping you. We're gonna have the gathering May 3rd through the 11th. But my wife's not gonna be in town and stuff, so I'm gonna open it up to all comers that are listening. We get a bug up in there. What you'll get shown how to treat them the way Mike did. Did you get see that, Mike? Did you see Dog come up to me, and you're like, you weren't expecting what you seen. You weren't expecting. I know. I saw the look on your face. I know that sweetheart you got that's been taken advantage of. And don't come up to me. And what? She played her character and taught you, right, by watching me how to treat him. Didn't that happen? Because that's a weakness in your heart because of the place you are on the path. I helped heal that because you're so sweet. And you are. You're like he's the sweetest guy alive. Uh, but how to treat those that are trying to take up our time and not just our time. We only have time, which means taking up our time means taking up our ability to advance to God. We should really, if we're spending time taking care of others, they have to be under our wing the proper was. What? You don't want to put a fox under the wing with your heads. You see this say they die. No, that's bad. You have to have you're the guard too, right? Anybody gets past the gate, anybody tries to get past the gate, you get my death burn to your face. I don't care if I'm sitting inside your jailhouse. I'll be doing it. Don't even. Don't even. Rolex. Boom. Good point, Mike. You do remember that happening in front of you, Mike? Yes? Okay. You see why I done it for you. I did it for you. You think I want to treat a woman like that? I don't want to talk to her like that. You know what I mean? Try to take her. She was, she would come around before I would just. She'd get right down to me, try and talk to me, and ignore her completely. Uh, I have knelt at that woman's feet and given her money, and she fooled me too. You see the saying? So the great trickster come by, and I show you what to do, what I should have done in the first place. I learned. I went first on the path and solved it. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I can show you. Yeah, they beat me. First they beat me, and then I beat them. That's it. They beat us, and they're forgiven. Man, that ride was tough. That carnival booth was. Well, you climb that freaky ladder that spins you upside down the first time. I don't think so. The freaky ladder spins up that. That's life. Whoop! Off you go. Oh, got caught you. Try it again. Ah, yeah. You recorded the audio from that night. Yeah, you were strict with her because she never listens or advances or mopes around, complaining, doesn't act, and drinks, and on and on we go. On and on. Yeah, that's it. You see, these this information that I'm giving you, just as the sun was setting, dawn was winding. That's it. This information I'm giving you to, it ain't like Jesus parables. It ain't like Mir Baba. I'm telling you what I did exactly so that you could apply and then explain the principles of how so you could apply it to your whatever situation comes up as needed. right? All we're doing every day is playing the game. It's not, we're never doing anything else. It's never, ever, ever. You're never gonna get 5 seconds off, not ever. So this our abilities to deal with the problem, put up a wall, put up a dam. He's like, he's like, a gypsy said, I use a wall now. I was like, God's name. He's like, yeah, that's my wall. My father is my wall. I was like, yes, your father is your wall. You see, that's who becomes our wall, so that we can then hear only from God what we should be doing and nothing else. There's space for time and rest and eating and relaxation and being with loved ones and so on. And there's times when God says, you have to do this now, whether you do it. God will space out the right amount of everything so that we can get it done. Z had her write me a nasty, ugly letter. Yeah, Dawn. Yeah, that Dawn. Exactly. And that's why I didn't ignore her that night and show exactly what to do with them. Respectfully, these are your errors. Go away instantly. Or we have to walk away. It's just go away so we don't have to walk away. Would you walk away so we don't have to walk away? Great. Dawn seems like an empty vessel totally. Just so weird. It has no social clues like Eva's. Yeah, no, it's not even close. It's not even it's just yeah, there's nothing. The whole thing's way so far off kilter. It's just doesn't even. So you should know that. You see what I'm saying? That's like the one end of the spectrum. No matter how much knowledge and power and stuff they got, they're still easy to spot. You see, if you look at it, if you're looking for that. Yes, I told her pray, pray her, pray her baby out of get it. Uh, let me look at what I have here and make sure I don't skip nothing. Okay, okay. There's one point I want to make here, and it's really interesting as there's something going on in the news and stuff that I want to explain to you what's going on up in here, so you can see part of this picture. I'll think maybe I've made myself clear enough on this point. Elon Musk is, talking about cutting funding and getting a hold of the treasury account. Yep, acts like an airhead, right? Acts great, bad acting, like an airhead, bad everything. Obviously, one of the watchers, very well said, Mike. Acts like thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, yeah. Okay, we're seeing the news. Hey, going to cut funding. Uh, listen. I want you to think about this, please. The Jehovah's Witnesses come to Siesta Key. They that drum circle. They come to Nokomis. They're at the train station. They're in like 10 different spots in this area, or in my direct area. Then I've seen them in different locations. They sit in public places at the bus station. They're uh, two bus places. I've seen them in like 10 spots. Okay, stuck in a victim reply. Yeah, John, easy spot now. Good, 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 good. That's like I wanted to wrap that thing up. So I don't want you to take the cap off, you know, uh, open up Pandora's box without shutting it because you brought up that in your way. So I wanted to shut that down. Okay. So these Jehovah's Witness, it's usually almost always women, dangle the bait. It's creepy. It is funny. It becomes funny. It becomes a comedy. When you realize they have no power, you have God, and they're screwed, it does become funny. Brings the demons out of those crazy people. Oh, doesn't he? Just like little puppeteer, Zig. It is. You got to see it to have an understanding of the way the devil works. It's not the experience we're having in any way, shape, or form. So it just has to be witnessed and experienced and gone past, because there's no way to know it until you can witness it, experience it, have to live through it and get over it. Like Jack. Uh, so this guy, this one, they come to the drum circle at Dakotas, and they're like top guy. By the way, Soleil is Jehovah's Witness. She's top woman. This guy is somebody near my age, I would say, dressed up like all that. Elon does. He's firing those good people, and they're angry. Right. Let me tell you about those people. I'm going to tell you about that system and those people now, Dee Dee. Okay. That's what I'm going to get into. Thank you for saying it that way. I saw them run for me 10 years ago when I told them, leave. I love God and Jesus Christ is God. Exactly. Exactly. On TV, their faces are literally look like demons are coming. Yes, thank you. And so I want to help you with this unfolding right now. Okay, I want to give you some information so that you can see it with more clarity. Okay, and then we're going to finish up. All right. So before we finish up, because I might forget, everyone right now, pray in the name of Jesus Christ, please. God, help Gypsy, help Gypsy, help Gypsy. That's right. We have the power, and we're gonna ask together collectively, help Gypsy right now. I don't want to make an error, and after saying all that, and not doing the final most important thing is pray for him. So before I continue with what I'm saying, everyone, just a moment. In fact, let's do silently so that God absolutely hears our prayers. A few seconds of silence here, please. Okay, thank you. Government people. Now, who are the government people, Dee Dee? Thank you very much. Let's go into the governing people, shall we? I would talk about Jehovah's Witness, the witnesses, right? From what's that book in the Bible? Witness. I'll think of the book in a second. Anyway, Enoch, Book of Enoch. It's not really the Bible. It's but the Book of Enoch. It's all about them. Okay, so let me go into this. Jehovah's Witness. This guy, he's got four elderly women, not elderly, mid age or whatever women, at least, who come with him every time the dresser. They set up two locations, and he's asked me, please don't speak to the women. I'm like, okay, no problem. Last time I see him, I'm like, Shiga, how you doing, mate? I was like, you're the cops. I know you're the cops. I said, hey, I've been by your place on my bike. I rode by your property. I was like, that's quite a place. And I said, across the street, they have a fenced off piece of land in Sarasota, a giant piece of land. I'm like, I'm like, I was like, I know you're the cops. I know you're the cops. I'm like, you got like a 20 million, $50 million piece of property. I know you're the cops. I know you're the cops. It's adjacent to government land. I said, I know you're the cops. I know you're the cops. I know you're the cops. That's all that I said to his face. So I'm shaking his head. I know the property. I know you're the cops. I know you are. I know you are. Listen, could you, even if you suck at math, okay? All them people that are at all these locations for the Jehovah's Witness, they all need a salary, a place to live, all that stuff. Who's paying that? Their Jehovah's Witness hall is absolutely closed and locked and never has a car around it. Every time I stop by, there's never anyone in that building, no car, no one's been there, nothing. And their fenced in land, is like barbed wire. There's like, is there a prison in there? No, not barbed, like, 12-foot fence with like, spiky fence on it. No way you're getting over that fence. What? Married, and they got like, a driveway into a place in India. Like it was a piece of land like that place in India where Al and I walked by. I was like, what is I can't remember the name of them people right now. Uh, one of them, Sridhar told me about them long ago. Uh, they had a beautiful piece of land. I went up to the guy. I was like, "We're walking in there." He's like, "Oh, the guard said you can't come in." I said, "Oh, I'm Krishna. You let us in there, or you're going to hell." Something like that, basically. And I'll not just see the whole place. I was like, "You're gonna let us in this second, because I ain't got much time in India. So choose your fate. You can't go in. All right, see you later." I only had a second for him. Yeah, yeah, them. Uh, so I'm all over America. Jehovah's Witness have all this land, and like perfect in the middle of everything, undeveloped, untouched land next to you know giant building for gathering, and it's just like, who's paying for all of this? Uh, I mean, how many? And just to let you know, like that AT&T building in New York that has no windows, it's like 50 feet tall, or 50 stories tall or something. Slay has been in there. She told me about that. That's a Jehovah's Witness building. They don't need to see nothing. They can read your mind. What are they telling you? We don't need to see anything. We see everything without seeing everything. What? Don't you think there's some bills associated with that? How many? I don't know, hundreds of billions of dollars a year or whatever the crazy numbers. And the treasurer's like, dude, you can't, everything is the Truman Show. Everything. What do you mean? You want to stop payments? You're going to stop the whole carnival. Like, the whole place is that. Everything, everywhere, everyone, all the gated communities of high echelon, getting on their salary. What? Everyone's playing some. Look at the land and how it don't. None of it makes a shred of sense, even if you suck it. Uh, the Theosophists. Thank you, Alan. The Theosophists. Yes, Madam. Madam. Oh my goodness. It'll come to me. Thank you, Alan. Yeah, the Theosophists, they got short shrift. Like you nutsos with the you know, Kabbalah creepy freaking let me stop by and get the prayers right on you all. Beautiful piece of land. Similar situation, just on the beach. It was just unspoiled, untouched in India, most beautiful land and the most prettiest city we're in. And what? That's what it's like to Jehovah's Witness land here and everywhere. What is that crew? Like you're the cops, government workers, whatever you want to call, and right. I forgot this. Oh my god! It was right at. Laughing at my own joke. Okay, sorry, I have to tell it first. I just remembered it. Oh my goodness. And so this guy was walking up with his women watchers, and the lifeguard was walking by. I was like, at the same time, I was like, "You all the cops." And the guy walks by. I'm like, "The water cops, well, land cops, and water cops." I'm like, "Hey, water cop, land cop." I did them all at the same time. Oh my goodness. Now, uh, no, Eli got prevented from cutting it off, but he's like, "Let me pretend we're gonna cut it off." What? It's a whole game. What? There would be no game if they cut off that. What? He ain't gonna cut off no game. He's gonna be the savior. Elon's the savior. You see what I'm saying? That's the Antichrist, obviously. Yeah, you're an XG trillion and still homeless in every city that I could easily, if I drop my wallet, I could pay for everybody to get a home, but forgot to do that. Like Andy said, oh, that's right. The guy at Drum Circle, he said, "Oh, I didn't bring my wallet." I said, "Dude, I'm holding $20 in front of you. He even though I'm handing him $20, I had already played that, right? He's like, he said, "I don't have my wallet with me." I was like, "No, this $20 here." He's like, he just like walked around me eventually. Uh, Mir Mama has some interesting commentary on the Theosophists. Yeah, that was my prayer for them. Straight up, I didn't take. Yeah, I have no patience with them. Uh, they discovered example, one government agency was paying for a program for teaching how to high five properly and make hand signals. Yeah, whatever. That just put something on the ticket. We need some money over here. We're running out of drugs, and whatever. We need to buy some. They just you're just like just make $50. We only have 64 years. Who cares? Just print the stuff until we pay for everything that anybody wants ever. Just print up money, make it pop out of the ether, all of it. Just who cares? We only have 64 years, so just keep doing it. No one cares. We all know. Just here's your pretend money back. Now give me stuff, Joke. So they were designating these properties for these purposes. Uh, I'm just saying, go look at the real estate they have. When they're not selling it, and they're not, it doesn't, yet they have plenty of money for all the operations and all the humans. There's how many tens of thousands or hundreds, I guess, hundreds of thousands easily of Jehovah's Witnesses. How? Where's the money? you know, Treasury direct account. Some IRS people here got pay slips. Well, that's what it says anyway. But of course, that means, hey, we're gonna have you play other characters over here. What? How can they possibly know how to earn a living? What? Are you kidding me? They couldn't do that stuff. They're not extra life, right? The eternal lifeguards, right? Fraud. It's yeah, because like they have everything, and they're just like, nah, be homeless. It's part of the path to God, so that's why it's still happening. So and now and by the way, oh my God, that's right. I go down Legacy Trail, right? And it's this bike path. It's a beautiful path here. I got to take a little bit to get here, but it's why everybody comes out here. All the people are biking up. Jehovah's Witness after Jehovah's Witness all along the whole thing. It's like super many of them when it's densely populated up in Sarasota. It's unreal. And at the other end, too. It's crazy. So now what I say to them, instead of saying the obvious, I say, I just let them know. I said, I stop by women, whatever. I just say to them, they're all my flock. And I want you to know this and hear this yourselves. Everyone is my flock. It doesn't matter if they're Dawn. Eventually, that character, I never leave here. I am never leaving. I get every soul. Every single one of them. I get them eventually. Oh, yes, I do. The devil gets them first. The devil gets everyone first. But in the end, I get every single soul, and they all come back to God. I don't miss no one. No one gets left in here forever. And my shadow, if you're listening, you're gonna lose your post. Indra could lose her post. Oh yes. Oh yeah. I'm not leaving this body. And so, Indra, may you can remember every lifetime or whatever, you've lost your post before. Eventually, by watching me, you've grown to accept that this is the better way. And you will come over. I beat everyone. I beat the devil. The devil changes character. Eventually, the devil bends the knee. Oh yeah, and that's a fact. And their mama said it. Indra changes places. Z loves me. That's a fact, and it says it to my face. Ozzy does love me improperly. I have conditional love. You stay in the dome until you can, act appropriately to God in God's presence. Act appropriately and God to God in God's presence. I walked that razor's edge first every time. I'm not talking shit. I'm not talking what I didn't do. My conditions I placed on myself first. I am the avatar. What does avatar mean? I God is so fair he plays the game himself. And then wins. And shows how it's done. And that's how it's done. Fairly. God is fair. I told you God is fair. There's one avatar, there ain't gonna be another one. It's never, ever, ever gonna happen. I never leave me. I never born, I never die. That's why I tell the Jehovah's Witness. I don't tell them no nothing. Everyone is my flock. I'm never born, I never die. Look at who am I? That's what I say to them. George, new Secretary of Treasury babbling about a sovereign fund to monetize the assets side of the balance sheet. Us. We're the asset side. Pretending to finally be a competent trustee. Exactly. Exactly. That's what. Thank you, George. That was a complete, excellent, very short, succinct, and beautiful summation of what I was trying to get at. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That was super well said. Very, very. Thank you, Jay. Dog and Pony Show. Yeah. Hey, hey, everyone works there, and many got laid off. I just figure you play with the devil, you turn on you eventually. And some people get a little bit of that, maybe, so that they can have some pain and struggle and get pissed at the system and eventually come to God. Exactly. So that some of that has to happen. So he says, Jack is his brother, right? Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel. He totally loves me. You didn't understand. Like your mama said, the tiger loves the deer. Z is not the same as I am. For him, he's, it's just, oh, so god awful. It's hard to even give words and time, except for us having to be on this path. And I don't even like to give 1 second of speech to him. But for you see to say for you. Brings me an 18-year-old girl because that's the way it is programmed. You see what I'm saying? That's like showing me the deepest compassionate form of love based on what love means to Z. A reflection of Z, not me. So horrible, so god awful. It's just turns my stomach to even think about it, right? So this information that I'm trying to give you, Chad, start off with hey, you gotta watch Groundhog Day. Listen to it the sweet way. And then we'll get into real life and show you the principles there, who we're up against, and the game, and just pull back the curtains so you can see the whole thing. You see what I'm saying? And then it got no power over you. Only power God has over you. No one else, nothing else. That's it. Cain and Abel, that's what I'm saying. Okay, so that's where I wanted to go today. All right, I wanted to get in some real information, up to date, current events, tie it all together because you're playing the game today. We're playing it right on a timing, We're on this timing right now. I want to bring you to now. You see what I'm saying? I'm not talking about parables from the past or books that I want you on now. You see the saying, we're in the final 8 years. I want you to win. I don't exist for another single purpose. I am not created for any other purpose than for one purpose, for you to win this game. I am not here for no other purpose. You win. And so come to right this second. Don't live in your past. Don't live in your programming. You listen to what God says and you do what God says. And you start this second Right this second, you're up to date right now. I say so, so you are. You're to now. You don't get to live in the past. You don't get to live in your program. I won't lose you. You're not going to be lost. You're going to win. You understand? Not going to lose any sheep in my flock who's it's your time to be there. I ain't losing you. No, you're to right now. Stay till now. You're always right now. You're in the game now. You play it from right now. God tells you to do something, you do it. I'm not talking about me. If I say something, I'm very reluctant to say anything about anything. I'm trying to give you the principles and tools you need so that when you're not like listening to me on Sunday, you know exactly what you should be doing in every situation. You're to the right then, right now, because they're constantly on us, constantly. And that's our progress. Every interaction we have with them and we get it correct, we move forward. Every time we don't handle things properly, we go backward. We'll quit going backward. Only forward. You see? You have the tools. I've given them to you. You've done enough to get to here right now today. Right? And so you can move forward. They're never gonna don't let them ever beat you again. And if they do, okay, you earned your feathers and wings. You got me further, but you ain't gonna beat me again. Give them respect and say, "Great, you don't try that again up on me." And but they're always after us every second of every day. Just know that's for our spiritual progress. You are like the Bible said, it's a blessing you got kicked out of here, right? Can't come back. Can't come back to the dome. We're blessed with you with that. Great. That's my prayer. I want you out of here. You see, I just want you with God because that's the only place, that's the only thing, that's all that's all there is. We actually are with God. We're playing this game where we're not experiencing. I want you to have that experience, okay? And that's what I pray that God gives you. That's all I'm here to help you receive is the presence of God. That's all. Okay. So let's pray for each other. This team of 12 here right now. Here we go. Let's pray for each other until we see each other next week. Uh, until May 3rd through the 11th. If anyone's having trouble getting here, please bring something up. If it's something that anyone can help with, we'd like to help you in some way make it here. Whatever needs to happen, please bring it up. Direct message me in the classroom if there's something that can be helped, it needs to be helped, it needs to be sorted out. Okay. Their job is to give us progress. They do turn my stomach to Didi, but remove that power from them. They don't turn my stomach no more. That's why I don't have to have we. I don't. They don't turn my stomach anymore. It's just I don't give them that power no more. They're just a character in a game. Whatever. You matter. They don't matter yet, right? They're just like a tree. Whatever. Who cares? I'll care when it's time to care. I care about you. I don't need to care for God's watching over them. They get a check from Treasury. They got all the what do they have? They're fine. I've got to work with them. I'm not here for them. I'm here for you. I'm here for them later. Right? Every one of them, they're my flock. I'm here for them later. Later. I'm here for you now. Okay. So we're gonna pray for each other. God, here, Papa, Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit, Angel Gabriel. These are the ones who are coming to you. And I pray you give them everything that you can give them, everything that can. This is the way I say everything that can be said and everything that can't be said. That's what we're praying for. You know what we need. That's what give it to us, please. Okay. Until next week, again, thank you everyone for the support. I'm trying to support your progress to God. Stay with it. At times it's very difficult. Like I tell Gypsy, it's only 8.5 years. You can do this, please. Okay. And these are your homies. We're here to support each other in this getting home. Okay. Uh, I'm here if you need me, and I know your other brothers and sisters are here too. Okay. I'll see you next week. God bless you, one and all.